Hi everybody! So today I'm doing a chakra removal session for Adon. This is a distant spiritual healing session, so Adon is not actually on the other side of this video. It's just me connecting with her spiritual atmosphere and doing the chakra removal work. So just to give you guys a little bit of background, I've been doing chakra removal for about a year and a half, and I've learned so much about what chakra removal is all about to me. One way you could look at chakra removal, it's not removing chakras because you need to have a heart, you need to have a third eye, you need to have voice box, right? But it's enhancing the way chakras are functioning. So in a way, we're removing what is the chakra system, or the way the chakra identity of what was a lower frequency, and enhancing it or upgrading it into what is a more love-based frequency functioning chakra system. So I see it as like an ascension energy gift, and it really brings out the lightest essence in you. It creates beautiful, it really opens the heart portal, and I've had so much positive feedback on the experience. So I'm actually gonna just relax here, get cozy, drink some water, and then I'm gonna get connected with you, Adon. Okay. So Adon didn't have anything specific that she wanted me to explore during the chakra removal session. So I'm just going as guided by spirit. And again, if I haven't said it, Adon, thank you so much for your open-mindedness to share this experience on YouTube for others. All right, I'm going to relax now. I'm going to get connected. Actually, there's something very lighthearted, very sweet, actually. There's something very warm. There's images of freshly cut orange slices on a sunny day. The sun looks like a lemon, but it's bright and it's very noticeable. It's not like a lemon like a car, so it doesn't. The sun is not like a disappointment. The sun is really bright and lemony and refreshing, like lemonade on a hot day or something. It's There's something special about this. The whole scene. If you could have a photographer take a picture of a sweet girl, little girl, in like a field with really tall grasses and a really cute sort of big round hat, and she's sort of like collecting flowers in a basket. But the scene has a lot of like really bringing out the hues of the sun, and bringing out, there's some sort of orangey and yellow essence to the hue of everything. It's really bright and summery kind of effect to it, but there's also an innocence to it as well. Spirit Realm wants to know why, Adon, I would be seeing this image about you right now. Why is it that the first thing that I see about you is this reflection? Because this reflection is who you are. This is who you are. If this is who you are, then what does that mean exactly? What is it about a freshly cut orange that reminds us of you? What is it about a bright sunny day, or a sun that is like a lemon and lemonade, a little girl picking flowers and tall grasses? What is it about these images that are a reflection of you? Because they say it again, this is who you are. This image is a perfect representation of who you are. What is your representation of who you are? We're going into what is a very tiny little hole, and it feels like fear. I feel like I'm going into a little hole and there's fear. There are fear-based imprints of the reflection of who you are. Okay, this is getting really harsh, and the whole dynamic of the scene is flipping. There is what is screaming, if you could imagine the essence of so much, is it terror or anguish or anger or frustration? What is the emotion? But she is, ah! Like it literally rips her arms down and reaches like backward and up at the sky and is letting loose this like intense scream. And it's a black and white world. I see a house in black and white. It's an old house, and there's aspects of what is the wall is cracking. The plaster is cracking and coming off. The house was once an antique, like a gorgeous, really ornate home, is now cast aside, is falling apart, is weathering. Nobody has lived here. There's not been a heart in this home. It's just a desolate thing now. But I still feel the home is holding on to some dream. But the dream is getting twisted and lost in what is death. What is the desecration of itself? What is losing parts of itself, watching itself fall apart while it's still trying to maintain a solid, sturdy structure. This is what is through what is a tiny little hole between the essence of all that you truly are, and how you as a human being are experiencing the balance and harmony of living. This is now your balance. This is the picture you see on the TV that is within yourself. This is you. But how can this be you? How could this possibly be you? You aren't this. You are freshly cut orange slice, bright sunny day, girl picking flowers in the grass is innocence. You are this. But why are you then this? How could that possibly be? Where is Adon in this image, Abbey, of a house falling apart that is still holding itself together? What is in here? Do you know? There's so many things echoing to me. One is there are walkers of the home. One is there's a girl crying in a room that is hidden, but I can hear her crying. The walkers are looking for her. She's not afraid of them, but there's something within herself that attracts the walkers to her, and that is actually what she is afraid of. She is afraid of something within herself, and she refuses to look at it. So the walkers now are helping her to make a choice. The walkers are drawn to this frequency within you that you are afraid to look at within yourself. And so they will be attracted to you until you heal that which is within yourself. They look at it as zombies hungering for flesh. In this way, these are like zombies hungering for a spiritual wound. An echo of a spiritual wound, they're sort of hungry or gravitating towards it. And you try to keep them out. You are hidden. They can hear your cries. They are looking for you. This is how you choose to heal. This is how you choose to deal with this experience. Is that healing? Is that going to manifest freedom? Is that going to help you see the truth about yourself? What is it that you need to do? So, what now? Energy shift and scene change, although the house is very much alive. The whole scene that we've been looking at is very much so a part of this change and movement. Has to do with the divine feminine space, has to do then with the sexual body. But I feel like I'm also going downward as well, beneath the floor. I feel like an anxiety. I feel sad. I feel hurt. I feel anguish inside myself. I feel discomfort. There's nothing to see here. I'm only feeling these things. This space goes through the floors of the basement of the home, and even further, there's some deeper basement. It is a total cesspool that's just rotted. It's black, rotting soils, rotting walls, rotting black, just oily, tar-like, gooey ponds. It's just rot. It's all rot. The house is not strong if it has got a rotten foundation. Where is this rotten foundation coming from? It's a soul journey thing. I don't feel like it's per se coming from this life. It's a soul journey thing. It's something your soul opted to experience. And it's still part of the record of your soul journey. So we could call it the broken record, right? So we have an experience. We can have a loving experience or a terrible breaking experience, but the record revolves of life. So the soul revisits similar frequencies to explore how it will behave differently or the same. So it wants to repeat certain memories. That can be very hard, and it can get a little bit more complicated as your soul diversifies, as your soul becomes more extraordinary. It challenges itself more and more, and it feels the totality of its journey. And so, is it a broken record? Or is it a record of your soul journey, and you hit the parts and you feel the brokenness, and it's revolving door, and you have to relook at it? So here we have an energy wound in your soul journey. Where did this energy wound start? Well, it could be a horrible, awful, terrible event that happened when you were a child in a lifetime, 500 years ago, and you've been working through that in other lifetimes, and it's still kind of there. It's still like a rotted wound, and it's still kind of there, and now you're feeling it now, and it's attracting experiences that are making us ask the questions, why? Why is this happening to me? Spiritual nightmare experience. Why is this happening to me? It's actually kind of special because your soul is really pretty neat, and really neat souls have extremely interesting wounds that attract new learning. And the new learning feels hard and annoying, but your soul is really smart and wise, and it could handle this like that, no problem. But you're wanting to be human about it. So if you want to be human about it, then you can go hide yourself away and hope that they go away. Or you can look within yourself and say, what is attracting this experience into my life? What is it within my soul journey that is attracting this experience into my life? And now we're getting to the roots of where this is coming from. They're saying that something along the lines of, you could transform these beings, these visitors, night visitors, you could call them night visitors, or you could actually, it feels like you could transform them, but there would always be hungry zombie visitors coming back, because until you heal the wound within yourself, within your soul journey, it's always going to emit that stench, that smell that attracts this type of experience. So and it smells like rotting flesh. And these night visitors are hungry for rotting flesh. And when you scream, they are even more hungry. They're very hungry for more of this. I feel it. I feel like zombie-esque starvation. I need more of this energy. And I won't ever find satisfaction. I'll need more and more and more, and my satisfaction will never be quenched. Why, though? Doesn't matter. That's for their souls. Because what matters is we heal this wound within you, so this experience now is transitioning, and you can transition or ascend beyond it, okay? What is so... this is the weirdest message. I feel weird. I feel like I'm... Oh, what is this like? I am in the shape of an hourglass, and I'm standing still in a space where it is only me. I feel a dismal sense of life sensations, dismal sense of being. I am not changing, I'm not moving, I'm not doing things differently. I will not turn around. I will refuse to turn around to see what is behind me. The room opens up and it's sort of like a yellow room, and the floor is crooked. The walls are kind of crooked. But I will not look at what is behind me, because what is behind me is giving me an agitation. I am only going to look at this wall, this wall, this wall, and then what is in front of me. But I will not turn around, because if this is all I see, then that's all that is there. That's all that's actually there. That's all that's real. I am not going to turn around, because there's nothing back there. I don't know of anything, but there is a sensation that something very discomforting is behind you. Now, the problem is, if you don't turn around to look at it, it is going to get louder and more uncomfortable until you look at it, because it is a festering wound issue. It's a festering nightmare wound issue. It's attracting energy garbage. And this would be like you having your leg cut off in the Civil War, and you walking around and it's like gangrene and festering, and there's insects on it and nasty and it stinks and you're gonna die from it, and you walking around like, hey guys, how's it going? Great day today, high fives, nice job. Everybody's like, well, what? Your leg? Your leg? No, what? I don't know what you're talking about. Don't know anything about it. Your leg. So here we are. It's like, you need to turn around, dude. You need to see what's behind you, because this space, this experience is not going to get better. It's actually going to get worse, and it's going to feel like a black blanket is surrounding you, and you're going to start feeling like you're getting an awful, disgusting nightmare bear hug. And so you actually need to turn around and face what is behind you, which is actually a deep soul journey wound. It's not actually them. It's not actually the zombies, because your soul is really not scared or creeped out by the zombies. It's creeped out by what happened on your soul journey. And that is more scary than night visitors. That is actually more scary. And so what is it? What is this terrifying thing that happened on your soul journey? You don't want to look at it. It actually defines your self-worth as well. This has been a bigger knot that you have not actually been aware of. And it's such a big knot, the spirit realm, like you're not gonna be able to get away with not noticing it now. And you have to work on it. It's something you have to work on in this lifetime. And right now it feels really raunchy and nasty and gross. Because we've been waiting for you to work on this for a while now, but you're resisting. So it's festering enough that it's attracting it to be more and more difficult. So because it's more difficult, it's more in your face. And now you're saying, what the F? What the fuck? And now we gotta fix it. We gotta do something about it. There's no more ignoring it anymore. Okay. The leg issue here, the serious, disgusting, awful wound must be looked at. It must be seriously looked at. You still don't like it. You don't want to turn around. You want to walk forward. You tell me. You're a little girl in a really awkward yellow room, and you want to walk forward. Because if you walk forward, then it's further behind you. And I tell you, that is not turning around and looking at it. It's attached to your backside, and it will follow you everywhere you go. And it's going to get more and more gruesome. I mean, I can feel this is the truth about it. But this journey is to give this part of your consciousness the courage to see what this is all about, to understand it on a human level, to bring higher awareness on a love-based frequency, along with the chakra removal, etc., to bring you into a state of just awesomeness. So I'm just waiting. You are walking through a doorway that manifests on the wall in the yellow room, and you walk through it. It has a white trim. You walk through it, this garbage is still attached to your back, to your spine, and you walk through it and you actually pull in the whole room, and it pulls in through the door behind you, and once you get to the center of the room that is also yellow, looks just like the room we were in, all that garbage is still attached to your back, and it's like nothing ever changed. Because you just walked through a door, and everything that was behind you that is attached to you is following you into the next room, which really was the first room. So you're not going to get out of this until you turn around. All you have to do is turn around. What's so scary? This comes with a horrifying, awful anxiety. I mean, we're talking severe. Like, it's too scary to look at. It's like, that's how it feels. It is too traumatizing to look at it. But the only way this is going to heal is you have to literally, I'm going to tell you what the thing about fear is. Fear sucks. Like, I have to work on fear stuff all the time. But the more I work on it, the more I realize that you just have to stand your ground literally for 5 seconds. Just take a deep breath. You just breathe. You find the courage within you and you just look at it. Just look at, that's all you actually have to do is just look at the fear. Stand there and look at the fear. And just wait. Literally just wait. We're talking about spiritual fear. We're talking about an energy-based, spirit-based thing. This is also worse than the human-based stuff, but you're having a spirit-based thing. So, I'm teaching the deeper consciousness exactly what it needs to do to let this thing go, okay? So I'm telling it, it's not alone here, I'm with you. And we're going to turn you around. I'm actually turning around. And we're going to look at this. It's, you tell me that behind you there's some sort of tube with lots of tiny worms inside of it. There's like 6 or 7 or 8 like really bad energetic characters, soul consciousness characters, like really awful bad guys. I mean, you tell me there are like 8 really bad guys behind me, and I don't want to look at them, because if I look at them, then I acknowledge them, that they are here, and I don't even want them to know that I know that they're here. So if I don't acknowledge them, then I just kind of play pretend and yada yada yada, live my life, yada yada yada, and then they maybe they'll just leave. They'll just get bored and move on and leave. And I'm saying, they know you, they're in an energy world, they know everything that you already know. They know that you're too afraid to turn around and look at them. And in fact, they get off on that. They want this. They want you to be afraid. They don't want you to turn around and look at them, because the more that you pretend and pretend and pretend, the more they are laughing, the more they're growing bigger, the more they're saying, we're still here, we're still here, we're not going anywhere. You actually have to face them. They're attached to your back. You saying, why did this happen to me? Where did this come from? You feel really low. You feel really low, really unhappy. It's sort of like there's so many times that life makes us feel really unhappy. So you're having one of those spiritual experiences that suck. And then to another person, they had a thriving business, had one bad year, and bam, they're having to file bankruptcy and all their dreams are just going down the drain. Life sucks sometimes. So the sooner you can just own up to it and say, you know what, the universe had a plan for me. It was for me to transition out of this business. It's for me to move out of this house. It's for me to move on for my life. Most people would not be able to swallow that experience overnight. So we learn how to. So here we got to turn around and we got to say, okay, I'm going to acknowledge and admit to what I already know. And I'm going to look at it and I'm going to see what it is. I'm going to make sense of it. And I'm not going to I'm not going to cower before it. Because again, Adon, your soul is awesome. Your soul is like the super awesome like goddess of all times. Like you had the power. You had the power, you know? Like He-Man has the power. You have the power. They don't have the power. They have the power when you aren't looking at them. And they got the power because you're the one not looking at them. And they can stay in there as long as they want and just wait because they don't sleep and they eat off of your emotions. They feed off of that stuff. But again, this is all energy junk coming from out from inside of you, and they're here to help you. They're actually not evil gangsters from the spirit realm. They're actually here to help you. I know that a lot of people see evil spirits as evil because they feel nasty, they feel horrible, I don't like the experiences with them. They actually are helping you to see that there's something in your soul journey you got to clean out of there. You're psychic, and you got to face your fears as part of your learning journey and the growth and development of your soul. So we got to see them as helpful friends and not bad enemies that we just want them to go away like a pest, you know? We have to somehow understand the riddle as to why this is going on. Very hard for you to turn around. That's okay. It's your deeper consciousness. This is you. This is you facing this right now. Deeply facing this, your inner, deeper consciousness, okay? I feel it is very hard, and they actually kind of create a twist or a knot in the connection in the back, so it feels even harder to turn around and to look. I'm telling you, it will get worse if you don't face it now. So face it now because it's gonna get. You gotta deal with this one, okay? And good news is, I'm helping you deal with it. They don't like it. They don't like that you are going to face them. And so they gotta find a way to be bigger and more menacing. They gotta find a way to be more terrifying. But all you have to do is literally it takes 5 seconds. So you just breathe through the initial I'm turning around. It feels worse. It feels worse. It feels worse. Okay, so it's you guys? So why are you guys here? Like literally, that's kind of what it's like energetically. Because I've had to deal with this myself. But I'm also dealing with it in my world because I have to help other people deal with it. So I have to learn about fear. I have to raise my own vibration. I have to heal my own soul journey, broken record knots. I have to have my own dark night of the soul in order to know what that feels like, what that's all about, in order to understand how we work with frequencies, the psychology of the human race on an energy level, all that stuff. So I'm here as a master teacher in love, teaching you how to do what I've done. And I'm helping you through it, okay? Because you're a really strong soul. Adon, you're a really awesome soul. And you really are here to bring in the bounty of the citrusy awesome fruits and the bright sunny days and the innocence and the warmth and the tall grasses and the flowers and the childlike beautiful moments that we want to capture in a photograph that just is awe-inspiring and it touches all of our hearts. That's what you are. That actually is your essence. So this really does not feel like your essence, does it? Your essence feels amazing. This essence feels like this is just so wrong and not you. So you turn around and they notice that you are starting to stand up for yourself. So they show me that they are disappearing, but I know they haven't disappeared. They're just creating the illusion of having left. They're just playing kind of a game or something. I see what are black cords coming out of your mid-back. And then the black cords become invisible as they go out to connect with these beings. you say, Abby, why don't you just remove it already? And I say, we got to learn something first. When we learn something, it just removes itself, and then it doesn't have a reason to come back because you've learned the lesson. If you don't learn the lesson, then we're just, it's just, why do we come here? So we just don't learn lessons. Like, this is part of what your soul wanted to have as an experience, is this lesson. So I gotta help your soul have the lesson. Oh, it's freaking awful. You actually start to go around the house and look for them. Where did they go? Why did they disappear? They're laughing because no matter where you turn, they'll always be behind you. They're always going to play a trick on you one way or another. This is part of the learning. But I see them fading out because you're getting stronger. They really are. Even though they're invisible, I actually feel that they are getting weaker. Why would they be getting weaker? Because you're getting stronger. Well, they can't feed off of inner power. They hate inner power. They hate inner power. That's not their food source. Their food source is, I'm just going to pretend you're not there, and then we can just live in balance with each other, and you can just feed off of the fear that I have deep down inside myself to turn around and face this thing. And then we just live in balance with each other. And they're like, yeah, cool, I'll just feed off of your deep down inner fears, and you're just going to have to live with me then. You don't want leeches in your life. That's gross. Like, we need to let them go, you know? We just gotta let them go. Okay. They're getting weaker, but they're still there. You are walking around this house, and the house itself is oddly starting to repair, but it feels kind of... It feels like it wants to have the flu. It feels like it wants to be nauseous and sick. The house does. It just wants to puke. Wants to get out this puke. The house is getting sick, and it's starting to want to vomit. All the while you're going up the stairs as a little girl, you're starting to get younger as you're becoming empowered and trying to make sense of this. It seems like it's actually a learning journey, as in, it's not like, some textbooks, you gotta read 30 pages, and you gotta do the actual steps, and then, after the end, you're like, oh my god, I know this. I know this. But when you're on page 1, it's like, I do not like where this is going. It's calculus. Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. I gotta learn this. I gotta learn this, and I have to have a test on this. You gotta be kidding. Oh my god, no. No, I'm not doing this. I hate this. Well, you can either say that all day long, or you can just dive into it and just get involved in it. Just experience it. Take the lessons, do the equations, find the inner joy of discovering that you can. And once you discover that you can, there's some learning involved with this. I feel like this is like a 3-month learning journey thing with you. I don't like saying that. I want to just say it's done, it's over with. But they're showing me that there's actually a timeline involved with this one, and you're going to be learning a lot about inner power, about who you truly are, and what you are truly capable of. And it's going to wash this thing out like nobody's business, and it's going to evaporate like nothing ever happened. It's going to be over. It'll be like a laughing joke. Like, did that seriously happen to me in my life? Yes, it did. And you accomplished it so well that it's like kind of a forgotten memory now. That's what it's going to be like. So why is this happening? I'm talking to them about, so what's the domino effect here? Because she's choosing to have the inner strength to look into this. And now as she's looking into this, she's developing some inner power, inner strength. All the while, what is this house echo? What is that all about? Because the house is also a part of you. It's also a reflection of who you are. Is that your real house? Is your real house attracting some sort of like imbalances or something? Or is it you that is doing this? And where is it in the soul journey? Because I would really like to know more about what that nasty thing was, so we can learn more about what is this in the now. I'm talking to him about all this stuff. Like, we're just talking, and human language is so ridiculously slow. Like, it takes forever to talk about something I could say in 1 second in the spirit realm. So spirit realm and I are talking about a million freaking things right now. It just depends on what do they want to share with you as the higher wisdom today. Excuse me. All right, they're actually kind of... The scene is still there, although they're sort of washing the board. It's half kind of the old scene of the house and everything, and you going up the stairs and they're kind of invisible, but they're still there getting weaker. And they kind of wipe the board. It sort of looks like a blackboard that has a smear or a smudge on it, but it's also associated with a specific location in your energy bodies. And chakras are energy bodies. Some sort of weird tentacly roots coming out of the emotional gut region, also attached to the lower spine. Also kind of growing up the spine and attached around the head region. Weird sort of thin tentacly roots that are just like... They're like that. They're like moving fingers underwater or something. Looking at heart portal, looking at all this stuff. Why are you underwater? Why are you so lost? Why have you forgotten who you are? The truth about you feels like 10 billion miles away. Why did your soul get so far away from who you are? Why did you insist that that isn't you? Why did you pull yourself so far away from home? Home is the actual truth about yourself and your true divine essence. This is part of the wound. This is part of you rejecting who you actually are. And now you're going to receive some challenge. Because if you want to be not who you are, you're going to run into some people who are not you as well. And so now you're going to have some challenge in the question of who am I? And the question is going to revert you back to actually who you are. And you are a strong soul. And you have beautiful energy frequencies about you. And they remind me of orange and yellow, sunny days, etc. Awesome stuff like that. Again, this too comes from some part in this whole journey where you tripped and fell and you forgot yourself. You forgot who you were. And you actually believed that you were somebody you were not. And that went on for a while now, and it's time to see yourself for who you are, love yourself for who you are, and move on from whatever that learning journey was about. Have you ever loved somebody? In your imagination, I think anybody could imagine loving somebody who was very different in their choices than you, but you loved them so much that you could look beyond it and you could see them for who they are, so to speak. So in a way, you could see it as a vampire story, you know, like I'm the human and I'm in love with a vampire, you know. The vampire's dead. The vampire's cold and lifeless. The vampire drinks blood. The vampire wants to drink your blood. But you hope the vampire will turn you into a vampire and you can go on your merry way. So now you have to transform into becoming a vampire in order to maintain the balance of your romance with each other. To share your life with each other, you have to now be like the vampire, because the vampire cannot be the human. The vampire will never be able to be the human, but the human can become the vampire, right? And love can manifest those types of experiences where you make a choice that is you choosing something that is not yourself. But love and the experience of love inspires us to make decisions like that. How many parents will say, I had a great kid that just started hanging out with the wrong crowd. Next thing I know, they're a drug addict on the street. That is not like them. That is not them being themselves. You know, my kid was like a all A student, was in band, you know, had dreams, has goals, and then this happened. They became something they're not. How many parents would say that? I'm just trying to give you examples. They're not showing me the lifetime, but they are showing me it would be like this. And this was a while ago. And now the question is, who are you and who do you want to be? Because it's sort of like you're acting like a human, but you're really supposed to be an enlightened, spiritually wise healer and speaker. Well, I don't want to be that. I want to be a human. Really, the human is more like the vampire. Like, the human experience could be more like a dead feeling, a lifeless feeling in comparison to who you truly are. So you're actually pulling yourself down and saying this is normal, when truly being normal is way freaking up high. It's owning your life, owning your personality, owning your body, owning your face, owning your personality, owning what makes your heart beat and what you love about life, owning that stuff, knowing what it is, and then choosing to be a part of that and a reflection of that. So where are you going wrong with this? All they show me is you in this house trying to make sense of these attachments, whatever this is about, is you're right here right now. And you're really another version of you that is in the harmony and in the balance that you're exploring. This is the lesson that you're learning to try to accomplish. What is the outcome, which you're actually in the outcome, because you do successfully accomplish this in your life, Adon, is actually in a golden light, super high vibrational, wise, spiritual speaker, sharing healing and messages of wisdom and changing people's lives. So you're kind of like in an ascension experience of self-discovery and who you're supposed to be, and so you can actually step into your higher purpose, but you're still holding on to something, and it's kind of like a definition of who am I. Does the human say I'm truly a vampire? If it's not a vampire, it's a human being. But because love inspires the human being to want to be the vampire, now the human being chooses to identify itself as the vampire. So the kid with the awesome future that chooses to become a drug addict, they say that there's something I love about these people. There's something I love about the way they live their life. And I see myself as a drug addict and not the golden child. I see myself as this. So therefore I'm going to choose this. But your experience, like, I'm just pushing these, like, what is it? I still can't put my finger on it, because these are just scenarios. I don't feel like these scenarios necessarily define it exactly and find it enough for me, but they give you a clue or an idea of kind of what we're talking about. That's the best I can tell you. They're also showing me in another way. So I, Abbey, for instance, and I've told this story many times, I, Abbey, have, for the longest time, I followed the rules of society. You know, I went got higher education, got a job, worked my ass off in order to be a successful businesswoman. Never was a successful businesswoman, no matter how hard I tried, could not be a successful businesswoman. And I struggled. I had so many struggles in my life. It sucked. I had a really sucky time. Because I was in love with the idea of what life could be if I could be that. But I wasn't in love with me just being myself. And once I started to choose to be more myself, now the vampire in me, or the dark side of myself, or the whatever, the side of me that was programmed into saying this is the way you live your life, not as a psychic or spiritual healer, Abbey, now that starts to like ravage war on me and say, bad Abbey, bad Abbey, bad Abbey, you're never gonna be that, you never. So I had to deal with my own dark night of the soul, which was a nightmare, a freaking living nightmare, and I don't know how I lived through it. That's how bad it was. So I opened up to who I truly am, and I got punished for that. Or was I reorganizing my my structure or my system of identity, energetic identity of who am I, and choosing to stay stubborn and being that, and not falling back into what does society want me to be, but be me for myself, be me for my soul, be me for what humanity truly wants. Humanity truly wants to heal inside. So that's what I'm going to do with my life. I'm going to heal humanity because I too want to be healed inside. So there's something about this. You're going through some sort of ascension thing. And so, as you can see, how many facets of reality are intermixed in a single experience? So now we're learning, okay, Adon is going through an ascension experience. Adon is opening up to psychic ability. Adon's psychic ability is attracting ego, attracting other pests and nightmares to say, no, Adon, don't do it. Bad, Adon, bad. You can never be who you truly are in this life. We won't let you. How dare you try to find yourself? And so now you got to go through the grim experience of being stubborn and saying, this is who I am and I'm not going to stop being that. And I'm going to continue to grow. All the while, we have a broken record experience from a really long time ago and a soul experience, and you fell in love with a vampire, and you became a vampire, and then you lost yourself along the way. And now again, we're repeating that in a different experience, totally has nothing to do with whatever that was, and now it still does have something to do with it because you have to choose to stop being the vampire version of you, which is the human low vibrational fear-based frequency version of yourself, the mucky, grungy 1990s version of I want to die and I'm going to, wear grungy clothes, whatever, life sucks. We're going to ascend into who you truly are, Adon, which is innocent and it's bright and it's cheerful and it's warm and it's loving and it's everything that you really are. And we're going to get you out of that low, boggy, disgusting, nasty, fear-based frequency because you got to keep standing your ground because you are a super awesome person and you're a really great soul and you're the special one. You're the special one to go through the hard times that actually help you to see how really, truly special you are. And this is all part of your chakra removal. You needed this message. This is the message that ascends you from the chakra of yesteryear into the chakra of the ascended human being, which is open, which is not afraid, which is owning who and what you are, which is self-expression, which is active third eye, which is I'm going to work with love, self-love, love of others, love of my destiny, love of my purpose, love of my soul, love of million things. Sexual balance, divine feminine, letting go of anything that defines you as I am ugly, I am stupid, I'm just a woman in this world, like whatever, because women have emotional hurts based on society and we store it in our sexual bodies. So that, purifying that, releasing that, letting that stuff go because you are beautiful. You are a wonderful person. You're an amazing woman. All this stuff. You're a wonderful mother. All this stuff, right? And then we get grounded. And I suck at being grounded, but you know what? We try. We try every single day. So we just do the best that we can, but we work with what God gives us. We work with what ascension gives us. We work with our higher self, what our higher self gives us, and we choose to be in the balance with that. And so we're opening it all up for you and bringing that air in and freeing you from anything that is saying, I am less than, I should have these experiences, I should have these visitors, I'm dealing with a stinky thing from a long time ago. Well, now it's time to self-realize that it's actually all about Adon being herself. That's what it's all about. And it's actually what all of this is actually all about. That is what your chakra impression, your chakra enhancement, your chakra revitalization, your chakra ascension message is all about. And this is going to change your life. I actually see you as a little person with a big pod and a goopy white, it looks like you're the size of an atom and it is the size of like a bird doo-doo. And it's just like blopping off of you a long ways down and you're sort of shaking it out like a dog, that wet dog, and you're all dried off now and you're just like standing way up here and you're looking way down there and saying, oh my God, I just let go of all of that. How did that happen? So you're just like a little light person, a little body, a little light body. You say, Abby, there's so much further I want to go in my life and I'm not gonna hold anything back, but I feel kind of small in a big world and I don't know how to feel bigger than this. I see you're standing in the palm of somebody's hand. Hopefully it's the palm of your own hand, right? But the palm of the hand is also kind of like a cliff or a ledge. It's also like the branch of a tree, and you're looking down as a very small person. You're also looking upward. You reach your arms out for some hands to reach back from heaven to take you up higher. You tell me, Abby, as a human being, I don't know how to go higher, but I'm going to start trusting that when I reach my hand out to the heavens, that a hand will reach back from a higher frequency and it will carry me up like a balloon with helium up to higher levels. And I'm choosing to see all that stuff as behind me, and sort of like it died, and now I've been reborn as this higher ascended version of myself. And I'm not going to relate to anything else, because I know really all this storyline or all this stuff in my life is actually not real. Is actually only an illusion of what it is I am truly afraid of, which is being myself. So now we can start to understand what this lifetime was about, being afraid to be yourself. You are still going higher. You are breaking out of the top, the tippy top of a mountain peak. The mountain itself, as you get out and you take your first breath of fresh air, the whole mountain just crumbles. It just dissolves. Even the pedestal that you're standing on at the top, it like actually falls away and you're just levitating up in the sky. You talk to God and you say, God, this picture with the oranges and the lemons and the sunlight and the girl, how do I welcome that essence? How do I be that essence? How do I become this? God actually brings this image up to you. Because you're so far away, you look a lot smaller than you really are. You're a full-size person. It's odd because the scene is you're here, but you're kind of like the size of a pill or something, and the little girl is picking the flowers. But it's hard to help you to feel like this is who you are, this is your identity. It's hard to help you feel merged with this space. This is like you're a seed, not a pill, and you're being planted in the ground here. The little girl happens to have a little watering can that was behind some of the grasses. She sets down her basket of flowers and she goes and she waters the seed, the watering can. She waves at God and she says, I know she will grow into the most beautiful flower. She sort of shows me how she will come to watch this flower grow every day. She is like your higher self. Your higher self is like a 4-year-old girl, so sweet and innocent and loving and natural, who takes care of flowers, who cares about how flowers grow and how flowers look, cares about the sun, cares about the beautiful days, cares about make-believe, cares about freedom of self-expression without a second thought, who lives her life without ego, who is pure of heart. Your higher self is watering the seed that is you, and is going to watch you grow. It's going to take care of you, your higher self says. I feel this seed is planted in your heart, and it is growing in your heart. It is helping you feel, even they show me the scenes that we have seen before as sort of an orb, and you're actually, the seed in your heart is actually pushing you out of what was. And it's bringing you into the harmony of the frequency of your new energy balance. He's lifting you up higher. You feel reborn. Again, another image here. You're full of sunlight yourself, and the sunlight creates what look like angel wings, but it's like sunlight radiating off of you. It's really bright, orangish color, light. Again, they're showing me frequency waves, that we are attuning you to higher frequency waves. And these attunements are being absorbed into your energy bodies and energy consciousness and the definition of who you are as a higher frequency ascended human being. A human being with a totally new frequency signature. They tell me this doesn't mean that you aren't going to have to still live your life and grow. But it's going to feel a lot brighter, a lot more understood on the human level. It's going to feel like it has more access to what are chords of love and self-reflection that is love, and life balance that is love, and the truth that is love, and a truth that is nothing to do with being afraid at all. It's nothing to do with that, zero to do with that. Your higher self says you are much stronger as a child than you could ever imagine. Shows me a pure heart that can walk to fear, could transform fear in a single second. And beneath the surface of fear, it longs to be touched in this way. It longs to be transformed into love. It longs for that so badly. She says, but the fear, when it is within you, you have to also touch that, transform that. And you can do that. And if it feels really, really, really scary, that's when it needs the love the most. Go to those places within yourself whenever you feel them. And do not be afraid, because you are surrounded by love. You are love. Be the inner child within you. Be the sunlight. Be the fresh orange. Be all of these echoes of your identity as you walk towards whatever it is that creates the vulnerability in you. And now take a deep breath and be the inner child that is pure of heart, that you are. And now give the gift of love. Allow fear to become vulnerable and now transformed by your love. And now watch yourself grow. Just like that. Instantly the flower pops out of the ground. And the little girl says, oh my gosh, that was fast. Your higher self says it can take as long or as quick, as super fast as you want it to when it comes to facing fear. You decide how quickly you want to grow out of the ground. You decide. She says, you are love. You are love. You are love. You are pure of heart. You are love. Again, echoes of melting old energy stuff just melting off of you. And you feeling way lighter, and then again it's almost like you're going upward or floating upward into a world full of sunlight. It's bright up here. They say that whatever you feel is your fear, you will face it, and you will conquer it, and you will find yourself to be a wise and powerful healer and speaker in your life. They say that actually will happen for you, and there's no, like, well, it might happen. They're actually pretty serious that it is going to happen, and whenever you feel something fearful, You need to go into it, psychically go to it, look at it, face it with love, like you do, because you're pure of heart, and watch it dissolve like that. And watch you grow like that. And it's going to get easier and easier and easier. And some of these things are going to be like activities, not just like a moment that I got to go into and face it, but it's like a life experience. Something I got to put thought and effort into, heart into, dedication into it. To grow it myself, a seed that I'm going to grow in myself and watch it bloom with my care. That's also part of your life journey. I'm feeling like things are starting to feel complete. I'm just going to stay with it just another minute here. You're bright. You're shiny. There's nothing to be afraid of here. There's nothing to be afraid of anywhere. You are golden. You are energy. Have nothing to do with anything human related. Because your peace of mind just flows without resistance and without second guessing and without fail. I mean, it just flows. And your understanding and your knowing about you, it just flows. It's amazing. All right, Adon, that's all I can share for this session. So a little longer than most chakra removals, but this is going to give you some powerful boosts, enhancements, inner strength, courage, self-awareness, all that stuff. This is going to teach you a lot, and I'm telling you, you're going to roll with it. So after a session like this, it's a powerful one. So if you're sleepier the next couple days, that's because your energy bodies are digesting a lot of transformation stuff. And that's a lot of food in the system, and it's going to need a little rest to keep working hard at realigning itself with a new energy identity. And yeah. So just relax and drink lots of water and just allow this to guide you, transform you, and then move you from one thing to the next. All right, Adon, thank you so much. Again, it means a lot to me that you will share this on YouTube. And for those of you watching, if you're interested in a chakra removal session, please visit me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. Thank you all, and I wish you all a wonderful day.